Static Campervan talks about why can't you understand my level of comfort? What's up, blind viewers? How's everybody doing today? All right. Static Campervan. Now, this guy, I enjoy his stuff. I think he's an awesome young fella. He lives in a small little van. And just some people, they just can't understand how he can be comfortable. Now, it is kind of odd when you see some folks and the way they live on the road in their vehicles, and you often wonder, are these people really, really comfortable?
Whenever I do tell somebody that I may be sick with something or maybe down with something and I'm kind of stuck in my van for a period of time, it seems as though people always have this notion that, I must be suffering very greatly because I'm kind of stuck here in my little van. And you can see it's a tiny van, He just figured I must have trouble sleeping, and probably because he was a bigger guy and looking at the size of the van, he was probably just thinking, there's no way that anybody could be comfortable in that, because he probably wouldn't be that comfortable in this size van, which I certainly understand. But I just never really could understand why he just wouldn't take my word for it that, hey, I really do sleep well.
All right, go over and check out Static Campervan. He talks about a little sinusy thing and everything, but he talks about, how he's living in his van and his level of comfort, and he is just fine living in his van. Now, it got me to thinking that, when I first started watching the Wheeled Wonders, and even sometimes now, it does cross my mind. It's like, how can you honestly tell me that this is what you want? This is your level of comfort. This is what you're out to do. I mean, this is it. You set out to do this. And just like he said, that guy, he says there's no way that you can sleep comfortably and get a good night's sleep sleeping next to a railroad track or whatever, because that guy isn't comfortable. It's just like me. For instance, I would like to take a nice, long, hot shower. I'd like to wake up in the morning and the coffee, I set the little, the wife makes the coffee and poof, you wake up in the morning and it's magic. It's there. It brews and it's there for a certain time. And I like all those kind of things. I like going to the bathroom on a toilet, one that flushes and it goes away, not in a bucket or anything. So I think that since I can't be comfortable doing that, I can't do that, then how can anybody else? And yes, it is one of those things that it does take you a while to get over in your head. It's like, well, they're not you. And I often look at it because people often say, well, how do you do this? And how do you I couldn't be able to do it, not being able to see, or only being able to see a tiny little bit. And I don't, well, it's the same thing. It's not the same because I'm forced into it. It's not my choice to be blind, but it's just one of those things where I was like, I couldn't do it. Well, you could if you had to. And I guess if I had to shit in a bucket or whatever, I guess I would. But the folks that choose to, sometimes it's just perplexing. It's like, I have my little studio here. Well, I couldn't, I couldn't do that in a van. I couldn't do it in an RV. I like to be able to leave this room and walk to another room and go downstairs and watch TV, go into the kitchen and turn on the stove. I like to be able to do all those things. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, for some folks, it's like, there's no way. This is the way I like to live. So why don't those people like it too? It's no different than, this is a better analogy than the blind thing. How about this one? Country folks, city folks. There's folks that like to live out in the country, and they don't mind not having a neighbor. They don't mind having to drive an hour to the grocery store. They don't mind any of that. They like that peace and solitude. They don't mind having to drive through the snow to get to anywhere because, the roads ain't plowed and all that good shit. And they like having a half-mile long driveway. They like all that. While other people like to be able to be in the city, in the thick of things. If they want something from the store, they can walk down to the corner, grab it, and come back home. They like being in the hustle and the bustle. They like having everything close. And the city people can't understand. I can't understand how you would live out there in the sticks and the creepy old, there's no lights and everything. And the people out in the country go, you in there with the madness and the criminals and the this and the that and the sirens and the people and the that. So yeah, if you look at it that way and you go, there's different levels of comfort and different levels of what people want out of life and want to get out of life. And just because you spend your time in a tiny box doesn't mean your life is less than or less important than, or that you're not getting anything out of life and you're wasting your life being stuck in a little box because your little box goes wherever you want to. And really, unless it's raining or extremely hot or whatever, you don't have to be in your little box. Once your little box gets to your destination, you can go outside. Is it for everybody? No. Is it a bad lifestyle? No. Is it a stupid choice? No. It's up to you and what you are willing to live with and without. It's up to you and your comfort level. It's not up to me how you live, just like it's not up to you how I live. But you don't have to agree with me. That is never, ever, ever the point here. The point is that this is Blind Views. And yep, that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.